one of the great things about the Bible is it never tries to hide that people are imperfect. Unlike most religious documents, you will see that most of the prophets and things are just laid out in miraculous perfection. They are, just far and above, like the best possible people that you can be, and that's true of just about every world religion, but Christianity, and I would say especially Christianity. You can see, as the study Bible here correctly pointed out, um, that there are some shady characters in the genealogy of Jesus. One of those things, of course, one of those people would be, well, David, King David. It's like, Bill, are you calling David shady? No, no, listen to what I'm saying here. David, David did some shady things. He didn't live a perfect life. He, you know, the whole Bathsheba thing, and the Uriah thing, sending, he committed adultery with Bathsheba and impregnated her, and then sent her husband Uriah to the front lines to die in battle, basically sealing his death so that his sins could be covered up, and all these things, so David's sins could be covered up. Terrible, terrible way to do things, but David was included. In the matter of fact, the lineage of David was promised to bring the Messiah, and that's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Or how about Abraham begot Isaac? Well, there Abraham, he lied to Pharaoh about his wife, and he begot Isaac, who wasn't always a good person. He was a deceiver until he wrestled with God and was redeemed. I mean, there's all kinds of things, and one of the things in particular that this genealogy, which by the way would be pretty common in Jewish literature to see genealogies before telling a story and things, and it's not necessarily unique to ancient documents. It's not unique to Judaism to see that in ancient documents. But what is unique about this specific document is the inclusion of about 4 women out of all of these names. And I thought that's pretty cool. I thought that was really something that just popped out to me in this reading, because many people try to wage against the Bible that the Bible's anti-woman. It's certainly not. I mean, it really exalts women quite often, and we'll explain more of those things in later videos. But yeah, it exalts women more often, and so right off the bat here, you see that women are very important to God. You see names. I took a few notes here on it. Tamar, Rahab, Ruth, and of course Bathsheba herself was it was included in this lineage, and as the wife of Uriah, as it says in chapter 1 verse 6. And Jesse begot David the king, and then David the king begot Solomon by her who had been the wife of Uriah. So it's mentioning Bathsheba there. Another cool thing about these women is they were, many of them were imperfect women, and by the imperfect I mean they would not be what you would typically include in the Jewish Messiah's lineage. That being said, for instance, you have, just read it here, Tamar. Ancient genealogies often omitted women. Jewish hearers would have expected that if Matthew included any women, he would have chosen some of the famous matriarchs like Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and outside of Judah's line here, Rachel. Instead, he includes 4 women with Gentile associations. Isn't that interesting? They're all Gentile associations, which is showing the inclusion of, the Gentile people in the God's plan of salvation. By the way, it starts off with the book of genealogy of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. And who was Abraham? He was from the land of Ur, a Babylonian city. Abraham himself was a Gentile. Then he was brought into the family of God by God's invitation. So that's a pretty cool, that's a pretty cool thing. And I just want you to take away from this, that, yeah, listen, God has a plan for all people, and you are not powerful enough to disrupt his plan for your life. And some of these people on this genealogy, they were prostitutes, like Rahab, was a Canaanite prostitute, but God redeemed her, and she was brought into the Jewish family and brought into the genealogy of Jesus. Hello. So listen, don't be discouraged. I want you to walk away from this saying, like, yeah, you may have messed up totally. And there's no denying it, but God's there to redeem it. And so let him redeem. And let, and today, maybe you need to be brought into the family of God. Maybe you need to be brought into the lineage of Jesus. And that's the whole plan of salvation, guys, to be brought into the family of God. And so that's, come join the family. So yeah. Um, and so that concludes my comments on this genealogy in Matthew. There's so much you could say here, but I thought that was most important for today. So God bless you, and watch the next video.